Hey readers, I have a question for you today. Have you ever had a fortune cookie before? You know, like maybe you've gone to a Chinese food restaurant or get Chinese food takeout, and they're the little crunchy triangles. When you pop them open, there's a little slip of paper inside, and usually it has a life message for you or some message of encouragement like make new friends, but keep the old and never give up, keep trying. Yeah, me too. I really get excited when I get to pop those open and read the messages. Well, today I want to teach you that stories are like fortune cookies. When you open up a story, you can find that there's a life lesson inside of it. Stories are like adventures. They're like the most special, the most memorable adventures you have in life. For me, when I have a really special adventure, like maybe I'm helping my neighbor shovel their driveway, or maybe I go help my sister-in-law out at her preschool, even though I don't have to. And I think, wow, I really love helping people. It makes me feel good, and I should do it more often. Well, it's kind of like a little reminder about living your life. Well, I was thinking about some of the books we've been reading, and that inside these books, they do have these little life lessons or things that make you think about your own life. You probably remember Upstairs Mouse and Downstairs Mole. We've read this one together. What do you think the life lesson in this story was? We did do some talking about it. Right. The important lesson was that when you work together, you can get more done. Or sometimes the phrase is, many hands make light work or less work. That could be a life lesson from Upstairs Mouse or Downstairs Mole. What about George and Martha? We just read this one. Do you think there's a life lesson here with these hippopotamus characters that are best friends? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is that friends can be there for each other, even when their feelings change. You remember this book too, Iris and Walter and the Field Trip. I still get all my sticky notes there. I'm thinking the life lesson here is make sure you follow directions and look out for each other. What do you think the life lesson in Have You Filled a Bucket today is? Yeah, that one is a little bit more obvious, that when you say and do kind things for others, you feel better about yourself. Or when you dip into someone's bucket or say and do things that aren't so nice, you end up not feeling so great yourself. Well, readers, today, before I send you off to read, I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit different to get ready for reading. I'm going to ask that you either get some sticky notes, or like I did here, I cut up some strips of paper. Because what I want you to do, instead of reading new books today, is you'll go back and reread some of the books you've already read. And it might help if you kind of stick these little slips of paper inside of them so you don't forget which ones you wrote a lesson for or not. My challenge for you is to write the life lesson from one of the books you've read. It could be a book on Storia, or it could be a book that you have at home. Because readers, in this final bends and these final lessons in this unit, we're going to be talking about how readers learn lessons. One way readers learn lessons is by rereading the ending of the book and thinking, how did the trouble get fixed? And the other thing you can think about when thinking about the lessons in the books is, what did the character realize and learn? And when you think about that, you learned that life lesson too. Let me think of another story we might know really well before I send you off. Oh, I know. How about the story of Little Red Riding Hood? Remember how it goes? Her mother tells her to go straight to her grandmother's house and not talk to any strangers. But does Little Red Riding Hood do that? No, she talks to a stranger, the wolf, along the way, and she tells him where she's going. You know what happens, right? The wolf runs ahead of her, gobbles up Little Red's grandmother, and puts the grandmother's bonnet on, pretending to be her. Luckily, Little Red sees something strange. "What a big nose you have," she says. She sees that the wolf is pretending to be her grandmother before he gobbles her up. In the end, what life lesson did Little Red Riding Hood learn? She learned never to talk to strangers. So, as you're reading today, remember that when you crack open those books, it's just like cracking open a fortune cookie, learning important life lessons from the stories and the characters in the books you're reading. And you can do this every time you read a story, readers. Today, remember, go back and reread some of those books and think about the life lesson the story has left behind. Happy reading, first graders. I'll see you next week.